Welcome back to Soul Reaver 2. Raziel is finally in the Sarafan era 500 years before the events of Blood Omen, and he can now commence his search for the Reaver Guardian, for the legendary vampire Janos. However, I will not do that right away. Instead, first, I think it would be nice to check up on the source of Nosgoth's very existence, and how is he doing. Oh god, he is so tiny, he's so cute! They should make a plush! The Chibi Elder God, or the Elder Chibi. Who's the Devourer of Death? Who's the Origin of Life? You are... Okay, I'll show myself out. So basically this episode is a filler, and normally I don't cut the gameplay, but this part is optional. It's not required by the game for you to do this. So instead I will just keep in the most painful moments. Now remember, I talked about the Shadow Bridge, that you need the Dark Reaver. And here there was a profound... God damn it! This backtrack, however, is not the only reason for the video title, but there will also be some of it on the way to Janos Audron's own retreat. There is a timestamp in the description, because honestly the only relevant to the storyline part of the video is the last maybe a minute, maybe a minute and a half. So there is a timestamp in the description. If you don't give a flying fuck about all of this, about all of this pain of mine, you are free to click on the timestamp, watch the cutscene of Raziel in finding Janos' retreat, and taking a look at that. This is very much the very definition of filler, which is why I didn't even assign it a full number. It does not deserve this. This is the part where the backtrack, the required backtrack begins, and thus I am not cutting it in parts. And this swamp, this half-frozen swamp, reminds me of home, of St. Petersburg. Because St. Petersburg is in Russia and therefore cold, and it's located on what used to be a swamp 300 years ago. Yes, it makes perfect sense, I know. It's also frustrating that I am without the Air Reaver here, because upon getting out of that pit, I had to go into the Spectral Realm to regain my health.
For all the butchery of Mobius's crusade, this massacre was somehow more chilling. The killing fields of the Sarafan betrayed a kind of orderly ruthlessness, the cold-blooded righteousness of the true believer.
And if this wasn't for the frogs, then it would have been almost eerily quiet here, because we see the impaled corpses of vampires, we see the Sarafan insignia, these tridents, even though they don't look like the tridents, but they are tridents. But there are no Sarafan warriors. Where are all they? Actually, they're in the next room. And oh, am I going to fight all of them? And oh, is this a mistake?
By all that is holy!
Here at last, in the flesh, I beheld my former brothers in arms, the warrior priests of the Sarafan Order, their lives devoted solely to the annihilation of the vampire plague. And while I confess, I felt a twinge of longing, a pang of grief for what I had believed was my lost virtue. I regarded them now with none of the reverence I formerly felt. For I had seen the human face of the vampires, and now I beheld the monstrousness of these men.
These monstrous men are the highest tier of the human enemies in Soul Reaver 2, and I fight all this bunch of people because I'm a crazy moron who goes balls to the wall, because, well, let's say that I overestimate my ability. But all in all, the Reaver here is your friend, generally. And the controls are not your friend, because the weapons suck just as much as they sucked in the 2 previous acts of the game. I did not really handle this part very badly, but there will be some more painful instances. By the way, another thing that I never showed off is that the enemies here also sustain fall damage. And fall damage is sustained in the form of insta-killing them. Now, these sorceresses are the Seraphim breed of ranged attackers after the Cannoneers for the Vampire and Demon Hunters, and oh, are they frustrating to fight. They don't do any more damage than the Cannoneers. They are not tougher than the Cannoneers, but unlike the Cannoneers, they run away from you if you approach them, regardless of whether there is a place to run away to. And this is one of those brutal parts, and this is why you don't freaking pick up weapons. And it's really stupid that there's a generic action key that is bound to both picking up weapons and attacking. It's really, really retarded, and I don't give a flying fuck that controllers have a limited number of weapons. It's no.
God, me brothers.
Yeah, she will always call for the brothers to guard her. The swordsmen The swordsmen are by far the most dangerous variety of the Seraphim warriors. Primarily because swords take less time to attack, to connect the blow than the spears and then the, well, projectiles. I am not sure what the purpose of this cutscene is, but at least they show off the snowy Ustenheim, and I guess it kinda is similar to the center of the city where I live now. Speaking of Ustenheim, there's actually a bit of cut content. Well, much like Soul Reaver 2 had a bunch of cut content. It just wasn't as drastic as that for Soul Reaver. Originally, there were plans for Raziel to be able to navigate the roofs of Ustenheim. I don't really remember if it was supposed to be a separate area or a section and how it would tie into everything else, but something along those lines was planned. So there's that. Well, yeah, even though this backtrack is new because now everything is in snow, it's Christmas, it's winter, and you have even more frustrating enemies to fight, it's honestly not any different from the previous time we ran through this place. And once again, I go balls to the wall, because I am clever. And this is around this moment is when I get my ass almost kicked. As you can see, dodging doesn't work anymore.
That's him.
Who him? Do they know what I am? Or what Raziel is?
Guard me, brothers.
And now for the pay. Yes, this happens. And of course, Raziel would pick up this stupid fucking trident and fall down and get hit and then get impaled. Ah! I was extremely frustrated when I was playing through this, and even as I am looking at the footage, as I'm not playing through this, I am still frustrated. Not as much, perhaps, but... But it's all my own damn fault, to be honest.
Guard me, brothers.
Well, at least we're here.
After my long journey, I finally stood on the threshold of enlightenment. For here was Janos Audrin's mountain retreat, intact and unblemished. The upheaval that would one day topple this ancient edifice had not yet occurred. And while I had no certainty that Janos still lived, this scene boded well, for I presumed that the collapse of the retreat must have followed the ancient vampire's demise. There was only one obstacle. How to reach the balcony suspended at that maddening height, so far beyond my reach. For this was the architecture of winged creatures. The tattered ruins of my wings were of no use. I would need to devise some other means into that mountain.
And there is a way. And we will finally find the Reaver Guardian next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.